Hello, everybody. I am Noah, and I'm with Kevin here. We both got our glasses on.
Hello there.
And we're going to be doing the power rankings today. And I'm also joined by Dragon Knight here. You can see him barely. Um, so yeah, we put a good 10 minutes or so into the slideshow. So um,
I'd say 20 minutes.
yeah, so I mean we're still going to be winging most of it, but we took a look beforehand at some of the teams, and we got some good thoughts going into this. Let's see.
Good thoughts.
Okay. Whoops, that's the wrong button. All right. What is this stuff? Kevin, you want to talk about this because you're the one who wrote this?
Yeah. So this is gonna be like our criteria of like evaluation, but like honestly, I don't think we're gonna be talking about any of this. So I kind of just added, are we actually trying? The answer is probably not. But yeah. So like I mean, we're generally gonna look at typing, like hazards, offensive and defensive, like options, and then like speed tiers.
Yeah. I love how you wrote this as in like, we're going to try hard for this. We're actually going to, take some time to think about the teams, but we're just going to be winging it like
Oh,
always.
I actually plagiarized these bullet points from a different list.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
But you didn't plagiarize the title though, did you?
Oh no.
Ah, okay. All right. So first team we have is Eska's team. I don't know. His name is for his team is absolutely an abomination, and so is his logo. So anyway, he has Keytran, Weavile, the goated Slowking G, Raikou, Swampert, Aromatisse, Hitmonlee, Thwackey, Megasceptile, and Tornadus. So I guess I'll start with this one. So first of all, he has an interesting team. He does have a good mix of more bulky mons like Swampert and Slowking, and then faster mons, more offensive guys like Weavile and Torn. He also has Heatran, which is all around just a really good mon. It could be bulky, it could be offensive. It's a great mon for draft. The problem I have with it is that his bulky mons, like Slowking and Swampert, they don't really actually. Does Slowking Galar, it gets slack off, right?
Yes.
Okay, it does
It's
get
just
slack.
that most people use AV.
Yeah, most people use AV, so you don't really see it that much. And it's probably better with AV most of the time. And Swampert obviously doesn't get any healing at all. So his walls, his two best walls are Pokemon that don't usually have that much recovery. And he only has those two walls as his main walls. He does also have Raikou and Heatran, which both could be somewhat bulky. But I definitely would like to see, maybe a third, cover wall, as I like to call it. Like usually I like to draft a physical wall, which he has Swampert, and then a special wall, which he has a Slowking, and then a third cover wall that kind of covers for the weaknesses. But right now, he's kind of weak to Ghost Spam. Weavile's his only resist. He also doesn't really appreciate ground type moves too much, besides maybe Torn as his immunity. And overall, offensively, his team is pretty good. He definitely has, he has Weavile, he has Megasceptile as a special breaker, he has Torn, which is a very good speed tier. But defensively, it's kind of only halfway there. He doesn't really have a full good defensive core, in my opinion.
Okay, I mean, building off of that, I think you missed the Aromatisse, which does have Wish.
True.
So that does
Yeah.
kind of cover for the lack of like recovery moves.
Mhm.
And like regarding the ground weakness, I mean, it's a little bit of a stretch, but like he does have Thwackey for like ground resistance by setting grassy terrain. And just like actually on the note of Thwackey, he does have some fairly good synergies with grassy terrain. So first you have Unburdened Hitmonlee, which can hold the grassy seed, which I believe boosts defense, which is good for Hitmonlee.
Mm-hmm.
And then you actually have Sceptile, which gets grassy glide. So
Oh, really?
you can do some like sword stand grassy glide things like
Mhm.
And then there's also things like Z Tornadus that can pull some funny things, especially with pranksters. So there's some things working for this team. I would say like not too bad. I mean, definitely like defensive core could be worked on a little bit, but I think Noah did miss the Aromatisse and Wish passing.
Yeah, definitely. Wish passing is so. Does it get baton pass? I guess, or does it not? Do you know?
It might, like, I don't know.
Okay. Well, I mean, it is a good wish patch, so that is true. It could definitely heal up Slowking and sometimes Swampert. Overall, though, I'd still say it's kind of missing a good defensive backbone. Uh, does he have? He does have Fairy Dragon Steel. He does have Fire Water Grass. I don't know. I mean, I'd say I'm debating between either a 3 or a 4. Maybe I'll give it a 4. What do you think?
I'll give it a 4, but I do want to bring up that like it's only 2 hazard setters, just like Medicham and Slipproof, I think.
Yeah.
Something to keep in mind.
Yeah, true. All right. So moving on to the next team, we have Atlanta Braviaries. We have our reigning champion right here. Kevin, you want to start us off with this one?
Every time. Yeah, so this team consists of Excadrill, Slowbro, Rotom-Heat, Diglett, Swallow, Pumpay, Lycanroc, Day, Girder, Absol Mega, worst Mega by the way, and Roserade. So, classic Sand team we see here. Decided to be a Chad and go for Diglett instead of Hippowdon or Tyranitar.
True.
I see a great defensive core in like Slowbro, Rotom-Heat, and Roserade. I think that you have a lot of hazard pressure with like spikes, toxic spikes, multiple stealth rock headers. And then Slowbro and Rotom-Heat are just a really good defensive core, and then you sort of have multiple things to support that, like Eviolite, Girder, like Assault Vest, Gigalith, and like Comfey. And then like offensively, he's got Excadrill, which we know what that does. It's a Sand Rush abuser. And then you have Swallow as a general fast Pokemon. Specs Boom Burst is scary. And then you can have sub-sweepers like Comfey with Calm Mind. You can do like Bulk Up Girder, whatever the hell you do with Absol, I don't even know. So yeah, overall, like I feel like it's a pretty good team. It is Sand, and I'm not a fan of like Weather and Draft, but I think overall, like for me, it gets a thumbs up.
Yeah. Let me just say that I really love the the Slowbro pick from him. Because typically one of the biggest counters to Excadrill and Sand is a Pokemon like Slowbro. So we drafted that because it's a good physical wall, and it also makes sure that no one else can draft it. So no one can switch in their Slowbro to his Excadrill. As you said, he does have a nice defensive core. Similar with Esk, I would like to see one more Pokemon with viable recovery. Slowbro is a great physical wall with Slack Off. In terms of a special wall, he has, he does have Eviolite, Girder, he has Roserade, he has Gigalith, all of which are good starts to it, but I would have liked to see, maybe another, like just a solid special wall that has recovery. But he does do a pretty good job. He also has Comfey, which has a good special defense. It does have Draining Kiss. His team, as you said, has very good offense. It has Excadrill as a physical breaker. It has Swallow as a special breaker. It has Roserade. It has Mega Absol. Of course, he has his other rock types. So overall, I mean, it does seem like I want to give it a 5, but I feel like it's kind of easy to prep for. Like, okay, Absol is difficult to prep for, but besides that, most of his mons are predictable. Slowbro, Excadrill, Gigalith, Rotom, they all only have usually 1 or 2 sets they can run, right?
I mean, I'm kind of leaning to I'm leaning more to a 5, just because I feel like you have more Pokemon that can be, or a lot of Pokemon that can be choice on this team.
Right.
And you really can't predict which one. You can have, like, Scarf or Banded Excadrill. I know Rotom can be, like, Scarfed or Specs. Well, it can be Specs, Gigalith can be Banned, and then things like that. But I think overall, like, offensively, it does seem predictable, but there are some creative elements that you could add to the team that could, bring it to the next level.
True. So yeah, I mean, and as I did say that, a lot of their mons kind of run only 1 or 2 sets, but those sets are very difficult to deal with, so I guess we'll give it a 5 for now then.
Yep.
Okay. Next, we have the B-Town Bidoofs. Let's see. So it is a rain team. He does have. So let's see. For some reason, he has Tyranitar on his rain team, which is very interesting. He does also have Mega Garchomp though, which. What's his ability when it megas? Is it Samville still?
It's Sand Force.
Right, it's Sand Force.
Mega Chomp. And Sand Rush Dracozolt.
Sand Rush Dracozolt. Oh right, so it's actually a mixed weather. So it's really a sand and rain team. Dual weather. Dual weather team. What I do like is that The weathers that he chose, we have rain and sand. Uh, Sand, he has two great physical attackers, and for rain, he has Ludicolo. I think it's very good when you have your special breakers that cover for your physical breakers. Mega Garchomp usually struggles with fairy types, and as his Dracozolt. Well, actually, Dracozolt can both beat them, and with the combined chip damage of maybe Tyranitar putting up Stealth Rocks and Sand Chip and Dracozolt's attacks and Ludicolo's Scalds and burning stuff, you'll easily be able to take down those fairy types. Another thing is that, of course, Dracozolt struggles heavily with ground types, but you have Ludicolo and Pelipper right there to destroy them. Yeah, so offensively, this team is very scary. I mean, it's actually a hyper offense team pretty much. Uh, he has mainly, really powerful breakers. He does have Caracosta as a setup sweeper if he wants to utilize that. Um, right now, I'm kind of trying to think what kind of Pokemon walls this team, and I don't really see anything. Like maybe Steel types, but like Garchomp deals with those really well. Steel types don't like to deal with rain. Um, bulky waters can be a bit scary for the rain. Actually no, wait, he has Ludicolo and he has Dracozolt, so it's a hyper offense team, and I think it's a pretty good hyper offense team. He has Bronzong, which I don't really know why it's there, but it is good in rain because it's the rain helps it not take much damage from fire type attacks. It could maybe reverse some Trick Rooms if he's facing a Trick Room team. He has Surpuff for Sticky Webs if he needs it. He has his Rock Setter. He has a Defogger. I think overall it's a pretty good hyper offensive team.
Yeah, I think Noah covered a lot of it. So we're looking at a dual weather team, and I would say that it is hyper offense. There really isn't much of a defensive core to this team at all, besides the Slurpuff and Bronzong combo. Maybe like Pelipper defensively, and then you could like Assault Vest and Muck. But
Yeah.
overall, I see this team being used a lot more offensively than defensively. I think it has the potential to really punch a lot of holes in teams, but it has to be played really strategically because it's hard to see a lot of synergies between these mons. But Noah brought up quite a few good points. I think overall, it's pretty standard like weather hyper offense. I think the key for this team is to keep the weather setters alive, because as soon as those die, a lot of the composition kind of falls apart.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. That's kind of going to be the trouble in pretty much every single battle he faces. Is how he's going to keep those weather setters alive. How is he going to get the most out of his rain and sand turns? And usually,
I think Caracosta as a Z move user is pretty interesting because you don't have to like rely on Shell Smash every game. You can run like Rocky MZ or like Z Water to also be a breaking power.
True. And usually I don't really like hyper offense teams, but I think this one is pretty scary, especially in draft. So I think, probably a nice 4 out of 5, right?
I'm more inclined to give it a 4.
Yeah. That's what I said, by the way. I said 4 out of 5.
Okay.
All right. Next, we got.
So now we have OC 6-digit.
What am I looking at,
Mr.
Kevin?
Legherder. What? I don't know, man. But we got Garchomp, Magnezone, Necrozma, Meloetta, Darmanitan, Jellicent, Eldegoss, Evil, Mega Diancie, and Frogadier, I think, like Z Frogadier, right?
Yeah.
So looking at this team, I see a lot of deformed legs, so like you're talking about. But to actually get serious, I think that it's quite a bulky team. We're definitely looking at a Jellicent and Eldegoss pairing. I think those.
Uh-oh. And Kevin's frozen. So first technical difficulty, guys. I'm using a Mac that I got when I was like in 5th grade. I'm gonna disconnect and recall them. Okay, I think it's a problem with my internet. Got some technical difficulties going on. Are we back?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, we're back. Cool. All right, keep going.
All right, I'll just start from the top. So,
Sure.
we got the OC 6-digit core, Mr. My Legs Hurt, and we're looking at a team with Garchomp, Magnezone, Necrozma, Meloetta, Darmanitan, Jellicent, Eldegoss, Evil, Mega Diancie, and Frogadier as a Z-move user. And this team seems honestly fairly bulky. He has 2 bulky Psychics in Meloetta and Necrozma. He's got Jellicent and Eldegoss as sort of a bulky water and grass. And then you got things like Chomp, which can be bulky, Magazone that can be like, Iron Defense or something like that.
Oh no. Looks like this is going to be happening somewhat often, guys. If this becomes a real problem, I'll of course stop the recording and we'll try to fix it and then keep going. But let's try disconnecting and reconnecting again. And we're back again. We'll keep trying, Kevin. If this keeps happening, we'll stop it and Hello, can you hear me?
You want to just do this one?
No, keep going.
Okay. Sure. So I mean, we're looking at a pretty bulky team. I see a couple of hazard setters. You have Spikes and Toxic Spikes with Frogadier, and then you got Stealth Rocks with Garchomp and Diancie. Overall, it seems like there's quite a few offensive pressure mons on this team, including Garchomp, Meloetta, which reminder has 2 forms, and Darmanitan, plus Mega Diancie. But personally, I can't really comment too much on this. I don't see too many team synergies. I do wish the team had a bit more Cleric support, and it does kind of fall to Dark-type Pokemon.
True. Yeah, his Jellicent is an amazing wall, and Necrozma is pretty bulky, but both of them are weak to Dark types, which he has Diancie for, but that's about it. Yeah, so overall though, I like this team. I feel like last season, Core, I honestly didn't think Core's team was the best. It was a bit too, offense focused, and it kind of had a couple walls here and there, but they weren't really solid walls or anything, and they were kind of just there to have walls. They didn't really fit together. I think this team is a lot better. He obviously has a very solid Fairy Dragon Steel core. He has Necrozma, which is very terrifying to face in draft. In terms of walls, once again, he doesn't have the best walls, but he does have some good ones. He has Jellicent. He has Eldegoss, which gets Regenerator, which is really nice. He's going for that Feeble pick again, which I don't. Do you see what that pairs with on this team? I don't really. I think it's just there, right?
That's what they're saying. I mean, I don't really see a Feeble synergy. There's no terrains better. And I just think Stake Out Feeble isn't the greatest of picks in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably going to do something with Focus Sash and Unburden, or we'll see. He also has Z Frogadier, which is really nice. So overall, offensively, this is a great team. Very good Fire, Water, Grass. Very good Fairy Dragon Steel. Defensively, it's not as good, but it's a lot better than last season. And I think this is a pretty solid team. I think I also want to give this a 4. I think the teams are pretty good so far.
I'll give it a 4.
Cool. Next, we got my team, New York Islanders. Let's see. So I guess I'll start with what this team is. So it's kind of a Sun team. It just has a bit of Sun. It's got a Mega Charizard. I just wanted to draft Charizard Y. Wanted to use it because I think it's pretty cool. And also it was like, okay, Venusaur's open, and it's a tier 3, and I think that's a steal for a tier 3 considering I have Sun. So those are my 2 Sun guys. A lot of people were like, why do you have Bisharp and Umbreon? You have 2 Dark types. What's the point of that? So I think Umbreon is necessary. If you look at, Slowking, weak to Ghost, Dusclops, weak to Ghost, Garchomp doesn't like to take Ghost or Dark type attacks, especially because a lot of Ghost type attacks are usually special. So I need a bulky Dark type for that, which is why I have Umbreon. And then Bisharp is there. Obviously, Umbreon is my defensive Dark type. Bisharp is more of an offensive. I didn't really draft it as an offensive Dark type or even really a Steel type. I just drafted it as a physical breaker. It's very good at dealing with things, or at least weakening them for Charizard. A lot of times, anything that would want to take an attack from Charizard and be able to live through it and kill Charizard back, or 2-hit KO it back, doesn't want to take a +2 or even a neutral knockoff from Bisharp. So Bisharp and Charizard are kind of there as dual physical special breakers. Of course, I have Venusaur, another special breaker, Setup Sweeper pair with Charizard. I I have my physical wall Gliscor, my special walls as Umbreon and Slowking. I think overall, I'm really happy with the draft. Uh, I think they have very, very good type synergy defensively. Offensively, it might not be as good. However, we have a good combination of physical and special breakers. And overall, I think my team's pretty difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I think this team looks pretty threatening, and it gives me a lot of vibes from my FBA Season 4 team with the Umbreon and Hariyama combo plus Gliscor. And I think overall it's fairly threatening.
Forgot you had that. Wait, you had Gliscor? Didn't you trade that, or did you have Gliscor the entire time?
I think I traded it away for playoffs, but I did have Gliscor for the regular season.
Huh. So did you even bring it that often? Because I don't remember you having it.
No, I used it really poorly.
I remember you having Dig-Ass Volcanium, though.
I did. But yeah, this team is pretty threatening. I think that, Zard White hits really hard, plus Venusaur, those are huge special breakers. And then you have physical breakers and Bisharp and Hariyama. I do wish that this team also had a little bit more of a trick room component because you have both Dusclops and Slowking.
True.
I feel like that was an opportunity that was kind of missed out a little bit. I think another thing this team suffers a little bit with is hazards, because I'm looking at this and it seems like only Gliscor can set Stealth Rocks, and I don't see any Spikers or Toxic Spikers, although it does have decent hazard control.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my thoughts.
Yeah, a lot of times my teams tend to struggle with hazards because I just don't really feel like dealing with them, and I just forget to draft some good stuff for them. So, yeah, I think it's a solid 4, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I'm surprised. We've only had 4s and 5s so far, so I think everyone drafted pretty well. This is the upper division we're looking at right now, so a lot of veterans here. All right, so want to start us off with Suburban Snorlaxes?
Sure. So we're looking at Gammy's team, and we're looking at Dragapult, Skarmory, Tapu Bulu, Incineroar, Ditto, the classic, Licky, Claydol, Artis, Mega Medicham, a Game Bread, and Z-Lantern. I think this team is very physically threatening, as you mentioned. There really isn't a good defensive core, in my opinion. I feel like grassy terrain from Tapu Bulu could have been synergized a lot better outside of just giving Incineroar a more of a ground resistance, because you have things like Skarmory, which is a steel type that's not grounded. You have Claydol, which is a bulky Pokemon that's levitating. And then the other thing that could abuse grassy terrain would probably be Lantern and Licky. So I do wish there was a little bit more synergy there. And I don't think there's like a too solid of a defensive core, although I'm interested to see.
And it's the third time we have this. Let's go. Okay, I might just end the video and try again. Let's try one more time. Come on. I should have plugged my thing into the Ethernet. They give us an Ethernet port, or an Ethernet thing, but we have to buy our own cord, which we did. And then there's only one port we can use. The other ones are all closed off, which was really annoying. And obviously there's 2 of us living here. So what we have to do, we try getting an Ethernet splitter, but it didn't actually split it. Oh, Kevin's back. There we go. Hello?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay,
or I guess you're back.
It's really I'm back. Yeah, it's my shitty Mac and internet. All right, keep going where you left off.
Okay, I don't know where I left off, but just to summarize what I said, I feel like grassy terrain could have been synergized a lot better, since you have 2 levitating Pokemon that would have liked to abuse grassy terrain, but then you do have things like Lantern and Incineroar that can take advantage of it. Offensively, you have Dragapult and Mega Medicham.
Alright, while we're waiting for Kevin to get reconnected, I'm going to start talking about this team. So, as I said before, with Core's team in Season 5, I don't really like teams that, they have a lot of offensive Pokemon, and then oh wait, I need walls, and I slap on a bunch of walls that, just to have walls, and they're not really that reliable. This team kind of reminds me of that. However, the walls he picked are actually really like. Oh, Kevin's back. Hello.
Hello.
I started talking about this team, so I mean, you want to finish what you're saying, or did you say most of it?
No, I'm basically finished. You can keep going.
Okay. So I was just saying how I don't really like teams that just slap on a bunch of walls because they think they need walls, and most of their team is offensive based. And that kind of this team is kind of like that. However, the walls he picked are very good. He has Incineroar. Incineroar plus Dragapult is obviously very good in VGC, and it's very good here as well. Incineroar is Dragapult is weak to Ghost types. He's weak to Dark types. Incineroar obviously resists both of those. And then for Dragon types and Fairy types, he has Skarmory. I think both Incineroar and Skarmory are very good picks on this team. They're two of the probably best walls that he could have, given his breakers like Medicham and Dragapult. He also does have Licky Licky, which Assault Vest would be really good, especially as a Ghost immunity, because both Dragapult and Medicham are weak to Ghost types. So overall, I think it is a pretty good hyper offensive team, but it doesn't really it doesn't change the fact that it's still a hyper offensive team in draft, and it is somewhat counterplayable. I mean, he does have Dragapult, which can run multiple sets, and Mega Medicham. You just can't prep for that thing because it'll just one-hit KO everything anyway. I still think this is a 4 out of 5 though. You just have really good speed tiers, obviously. Dragapult, Medicham.
I mean, I kind of want to give this a 3 out of 10,
Really?
or 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, I feel like you only have like 3 big offensive options, and that's Dragapult, Tapu Bulu, and like Medicham,
Right.
unless you get creative with the other Pokemon.
Yeah, like he does have Ditto, which is kind of like, I mean, it's hard to say it's Ditto. And then his tier 4s, pretty much everything else is more like, doesn't really have any attacking power. We'll see. I mean, I'm not sure. I'll say this is a 4, but you're going to give it a 3? I'll take that as a yes. Okay.
I hope he does well with it.
Oh, there we go. I thought you were frozen again. Yeah, I guess we'll see how he does with it. All right, next. We got Sunberry Stunfisks. He's got... Okay, let's see. So he actually has a pretty nice team. I think one of the things that this team excels at is its speed tiers. Because, I mean, I would have liked to have one faster Pokemon, but his fastest is Persian, which is a very good it's in the 110s, I think. 115. He does have Gardevoir and Zapdos Galar, which both have amazing speed tiers under Sticky Web, which he does have. And of course, he also has Trick Room mode, which I feel like is the main purpose of his team. He's got Stakataka and Camerupt as abusers, and Delmies as well. He has Porygon and Stakataka as setters, also maybe Gardevoir. Gardevoir and Zapdos are both very good. It's a very good pair. Gardevoir doesn't really like steel types. Zapdos obviously destroys them. Zapdos doesn't really like to deal with, ghost types he can actually deal with somewhat. Okay, what was this Zapdos? Let's see. He's flying, fighting. That actually destroys a lot. Now that I think about it. Yeah, rock types don't like fighting. I don't know. I guess Zapdos just really struggles with physical walls like Slowbro and Tapoudon. There isn't really any typing that specifically is really scary for it to go up against. I guess maybe electric. But Gardevoir obviously destroys those physical walls. And as for electric type, he has a Stakataka that can hit him with an Earthquake. He has Camerupt. And under Trick Room, obviously, he has the physical special breakers of Camerupt and Stakataka. Overall, I think it's a pretty good team.
Delmise as well.
And Delmise. Delmise is very powerful. Do not underestimate that thing. Defensively, it isn't the best, but he does have Porygon, which is just an amazing all-around wall that you can get in Tier 3. He has Rotom Wash, which is pretty good. It's very good for keeping up momentum, making the most use he can out of his Trick Room turns, making the most use he can out of his Sticky Web before his enemy tries to defog it away, which of course he has Zapdos Galar, which has Defiant. Overall, I think it's a really solid team, and it's definitely very scary to go up against.
Yeah, I mean, I think Noah covered most of it. I think the main thing I want to highlight is that it's a Sticky Webs team, but also a Trick Room team, which is really interesting to me. I think there's a lot of really unique picks from regular Camel to Druddigon, and I think using Alolan Persian as a Z-Move user is actually a really nice pick in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
because it can Z Parting Shot, which is recovery, but you can also break a couple of defensive Pokemon with its really nice move pool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Especially with that speed tier, it kind of covers. Its fastest Pokemon besides that are Gardevoir and Zapdos, and without the Sticky Web, it's they're not the fastest, but Persian definitely covers for that. Um, yeah, so I think it's a solid. It's another 4 out of 5. I'd say. I mean, I'm giving almost every team 4 out of 5, but
I'm willing to give this a 5. I actually
really,
like it quite a bit.
I think it's heavily dependent on how he utilizes it. I do have faith that he'll utilize it well, but I have trouble giving it a 5 out of 5 just based on who the Pokemon are. But I think there's a lot of unique picks here, and it could definitely turn out to be a 5 out of 5 team.
I have faith that Campbell will be able to do a good job with this team.
Mm-hmm.
I think 4.5 is a good middle.
Yeah. All right. Next, we have Arizona Dragonites. Yes, Kevin isn't frozen. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got Landorus, Milotic, Tangrowth, Arcanine, Galvantula, Goro, Drifblim, Mega Tyranitar, and Altaria. Immediately looking at this, I see a really nice Firewater Grass core with Milotic, Tangrowth, and Arcanine. Which
Very nice Firewater Grass
honestly
core.
makes defenses for all of them.
Amazing.
Yeah, 100%. And there's also some really cool breakers. You got Angoro, which can do things. Tyranitar, or Mega Tyranitar, which hits super hard. And Landorus, which is an all-around great Pokemon. I think this is a fairly standard draft team. I don't have too much to talk about it. It's very balanced. Curious to see what Z Altaria is going to do. I mean, you can Dragon Dance with it, or do a few cleric things here and there with it. But yeah, I mean, I actually don't have that much to say about it.
Mm-hmm. So I'm actually in a VGC league with this guy, and it's not surprising at all that he drafted something like this. Having Arcanine plus Milotic plus Landorus plus a grass type, usually it's better to have Kartana or something than another, a more offensive one than Tangrowth. But, that kind of, Arcanine, Milotic, Landorus, then a grass type. And of course, Tyranitar is very good in VGC. This is very reminiscent of a VGC team, but I think, having Tangrowth and Milotic and Arcanine as Firewater Grass, as well as having Sticky Webs and other stuff, makes this a VGC team that's tailored very, very well to singles. I think this is a very, very strong team. Arcanine plus Milotic plus Tangrowth. I mean, as I said, this is probably the 5th time we've said this, but it's an amazing, amazing core. I honestly, and the thing about this team is you kind of know what everything's going to do. There isn't that much unique things you could do with it. I mean, of course, Landorus has a bunch of sets. Arcanine has multiple sets. Overall, it's kind of predictable, but it's very strong. It has a great defensive core. Offensively, it has Landorus, it has Pangoro, Tyranitar. I want to give this team a 5 out of 5, honestly.
I wish it had more Sticky Web abuse.
Right. Yeah, right now its abusers are, I guess, Pangoro and Landorus, and that's pretty much it. And maybe T-Tar. So that is definitely a good point. Yeah. He does have Sticky Webs, which is really nice, but he doesn't have that many abusers. Which is why something like, a more offensive grass type, like maybe Braylon would be better instead of Tangrowth. But as it is right now, I'd still would say this is a 5 out of 5. But I could definitely see it being a 4 out of 5 as well. I think either is pretty fair. Alright. Next, we got Ready. Okay, let's see. He's got Zapdos, Mamoswine, Alakazam, Florges, Dragalge, Politoed, which is a base pick, by the way. Politoed is by far the best rain setter. And he's got Kabutops, which is pretty cool. Spiritomb, Snipe my pick. Mega Aggron, and Virizion. So I love his synergy he's got going on here. He's, of course, got his really powerful Fairy Dragon Steel core. Usually the lower tier Fairy Dragon Steel core of Mega Aggron and Florges is very, very common. And his dragon is Dragalge. So that's, a very, very standard low tier Fairy Dragon Steel. He, of course, also has pairings. He has a Rain team with, of course, his 2 Rain Mons. But he also has Mega Aggron, which loves the rain because it doesn't get hurt by fire types as much. Zapdos, who can obviously abuse the rain with hurricanes, of course with the choice specs, or it could be bulky. It of course also destroys bulky water types that rain usually struggles with, as well as Mega Aggron. He then has Virizion, another mon to deal with those bulky water types, and is also weak to fire, so the rain helps it out as well. Overall, I think his team has very good synergy. Offensively, it's very strong. Mamoswine's also there. It's a very good Pokemon. Great physical breaker to pair with his team, and pair with Virizion as another physical attacker. Spiritomb a really cool Tier 5 pick. I think it's a great pick in Tier 5. I wanted it, but I didn't get it. Very sad. Defensively, it's also pretty nice. He has a really good Fairy Dragon Steel Core, plus Zapdos. It could be maybe a bit stronger defensively. He has Alakazam on his team, which is a good Pokemon in general, but he already has, his... I guess his Rain Sweeper is physical, but he does have Zapdos, so I guess Zapdos plus Alakazam is pretty good. So I was gonna say that he already has too many special breakers, but I just noticed that his Kabutops it's a Kabutops, so it's a physical attacker in Rain. So I guess Alakazam's still pretty good, but I would have definitely liked to see another Pokemon.
Yeah, so jumping into this, this is definitely a very balanced Rain team. I kind of disagree with the fact that this team isn't very defensive. First of all, you have Zapdos, which can be both specially and physically defensive, and Wallach Pokemon. And then you have the Florges and Mega Aggron combo, which can wish past to Mega Aggron, and I think both Pokemon cover each other's weaknesses pretty well. Also, you have more fairly bulky Pokemon. You have Dragalge, which is a incredible special tank that I used last season. And you have Spiritomb, which has 100 defenses, which is also incredible.
And base 50.
And Virizion, a pretty bulky Pokemon. Offensively, this is also really great. I actually feel like this team's almost a bit more defensive than offensive, but you do have a lot of potential with the Politoed Kabutops combo, and then you have Zapdos, which is a huge rain abuser now with Weather Ball and Hurricane. You have things like Mamoswine and Alakazam that can both function outside of rain if you choose not to bring it. And you have things like Common Florges, Set Up Virizion, Choice Virizion, and different, less prevalent offensive threats that can definitely be used.
Yeah, I think I probably overlooked Dragalge a bit. I guess it is a really good special wall. I was thinking along the lines of he does have he mainly has Florges, Aggron, and Zapdos, right? None of those want to take a rain boosted attack from the opposing side. None of those really want to take a I guess that's not true. Okay, never mind. But it's just that those three do pair well, somewhat, and they are pretty good. Aggron, of course, doesn't really have any recovery though, and it can be chipped down pretty easily. Because it's going to keep wanting to come on those physical hits, whereas Florges is a special wall, and Zapdos can be a physical tank, but I feel like a lot of times going to be using it as more of a special wall to deal with maybe water types. But Dragalge is, I guess, switching to those water types, so it's definitely better than I thought. It's pretty good. I'd say it's another, I don't know, I guess another 4 out of 5.
I'm not to give it a 4 out of 5, but I just want to stress the Florges Mega Aggron that we're probably going to see for a lot of games, especially because it provides the recovery that Mega Aggron used to have.
Yeah, okay, I really want to see a shit team. I want to laugh at someone and give them not a 4 out of 5. Let's see what we got. Here we go. Here we go. Is it okay? It's your turn to start on this one, actually. So go ahead. And Kevin's gone. It's such a bad team that Kevin just left. It's actually not. It's not that bad of a team, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's as good as the other teams. Because hello, Kevin. You're frozen. I just heard you say something.
Okay, cool.
You might be back there. You're back. All right.
Yeah. Well, we got Tornadus, Scizor, Volcanion, Azelf, Weezing Galar, Electros, Kalosand, Leafeon, Megalopony, and Rampardos.
It's a weird team.
I actually am not too big of a fan of this team. I feel like the Tornadus Scizor draft really warranted like a regenerator core that does not exist on this team. And I feel like there's a lot of that don't really like work with each other. The main thing that stands out for me is Rampardos as the Z-move user. Sorry, I'm just not a fan of Rampardos in general, even though it's a really cool Pokemon. And especially as a Z-move user, I don't see it firing off many hits very often.
Yeah, I mean it's very slow, and like I think Rampardos actually isn't that bad for a tier 5 pick. But the thing is, like Rampardos' gimmick is that it's super powerful, even though it's super slow and weak in every other stat. So I don't really see a point in giving it a Z Crystal when if it's able to get off a hit, it's usually going to be one-shotting things. Um, yeah, it seems like Impact though is making the return of trying to draft a underrated tier 5 evolution. Last time he had Glaceon and he proved it was amazing. So we of course moved to tier 4. Now he's got a Leafeon, so maybe he could do something with that. Um, Kevin, I'm kind of surprised you don't like this team because I feel like it's a very Kevin team. I mean, just had the Volcanion, but I feel like it's very similar to your kind of. I mean, it's obviously weaker, but it's somewhat similar to your drafting style, where you have Torn and Volcanion, who are both bulky, but they can do other things. Like Torn's bulky, but it's fast. Volcanion's bulky, but it's strong. And you just have some other mons in there as well. I don't know. I don't know if maybe it is your drafting style. It's maybe just that I see the Volcanion and the Tornadus, which you drafted in the past. Um,
No, it has the bulky offense style that I definitely like to roll with.
yeah,
And it has quite a few mods that I left in the past.
yeah.
I think for me personally, I just don't see too many like synergies with this team.
Mhm.
Especially because there's not a lot of hazard setting, or at least you got Azelf and maybe Palisand and Rampardos. There's just not a lot of hazard setting in my opinion. I think typing wise, might be a little bit better. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of moving parts of the team that have the potential to be threatening.
Mhm. And Kevin cut out again. Um, yeah, I think Impact, Kevin, and Core, like those three, all have a very maybe not now, but like previously, they've all had a very similar drafting style. I mean, I guess Impact still has it, and it's kind of the drafting style I used to use as well, where it's we want to we want to use cool, powerful mons, but we also obviously don't just want to use mindless HO. So we do bulky offense, where we draft our cool mons and then we draft walls in the back. That's not how that works. If you're going to do bulky offense, you should start off with your walls, see how they pair with each other, and then get breakers for those walls. Or that can deal with stuff that those walls don't really like to deal with. You shouldn't really be drafting the hyper offensive mons first all that often. So I feel like this is the kind of thing where you draft those powerful mons like Megalopony. You have Torn, which is pretty great speed tier. Maybe even Scissor, and then you draft some more bulky guys on the side. So you have Volcanion, who's somewhat bulky. Torn obviously has a Generator. You have Wheezing. Overall, this reminds me a lot of his team last year, which I think was more hyper offensive, right? If I remember.
I believe so.
Yeah, this is like. So I feel like the problem with that other team is that it wasn't 100% committed hyper offense, but it still was very strong as a hyper offensive team. This team doesn't really know where it wants to go.
Agreed.
Yeah, I might have given this a 3 out of 5, but Volcanion's ugly, so I'm gonna bump it down to a 2 out of 5. What do you think? Kevin, where'd you go?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. What do you?
Back? All right, I'm 2.5.
3.5?
2.5.
Oh, 2.5. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Okay. We got Close Combat Crew. Mr. Derp. Okay, let's see. So we picked Medicham. I'm not surprised. Okay, want to hear a fun story? So, I typed out in the top right, you see how I said Medicham Bestiality, right?
Sure.
Okay, this is a funny story. So, I was like, wait, how do you spell bestiality? Is it beast and then E-ality, or is it an I? I thought it was an I, but I just wanted to double check. So going into a private browser first, I typed bestiality, right? And I expected, since, okay, if you search up child porn, you're not going to get child porn, obviously, right? I looked at bestiality, and with a private browser, I expected like a definition or something. The first result said, watch free bestiality. I'm like, oh my god! Well, obviously, I didn't click it. I just did not expect that to happen.
I'm calling the feds.
There you go. Anyway, so yeah, that's the story about why I'm gonna get thrown in jail later today. So let's see. This looks like just like the Impact team looked like a very Impact team. This Derp team looks very much like a Derp team because he's got them at champ. He's got Pokemon like I don't know. I feel like Kyurem and Wheezing. Maybe even Aurorus. are all very dirt Pokemon. Maybe even Primarina as well. Anyway, so I actually like this team somewhat. Um, it's it's balanced. It's bulky offense. Um, I love the Weezing pick. I think Weezing in Tier 4 is an amazing pick, and I'm just waiting for someone to finally, show us how good Weezing is, just so we can move it up to Tier 3. It's probably going to be bad in Tier 3, but as a Tier 4, it's an amazing pick. And actually, Helios is also a very nice Tier 4 pick. I think he's making, yes, I think he made good use out of his Tier 4s. A problem with his team is that he has Weezing plus Corsola, both of which are amazing physically defensive walls. The problem is that they're weak to the same things, right? Both don't like taking special attacks, or ghost type special attacks, psychic type special attack, or not psychic, dark type special attacks. Knockoff sucks for Corsola, and it's not the best for Weezing either. You don't really want to lose that Black Sludge. Really powerful special attackers kind of destroy them. And his only special wall is like Primarina, which is not going to take neutral special attacks that are pretty powerful too well. So defensively, it's not the best. He does have some really good physical defenders, but in terms of special defense, you could easily blow through his team. Like, I get to see my Charizard clicking Overheat a bunch and just absolutely destroying him. Offensively, he's got Medicham, he's got Kyurem, he's got Primarina, he's got Rillaboom. It's pretty nice. I don't see a fire type though. That would have been good as a fire, both as a fire resist and to complete his fire water grass core. Yeah, that's what I think about his team.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think this team is I mean, it looks pretty nice. I think the first thing I question is the Kyurem and Aurora's pick, since they're both ice types that are offensive. I mean, I guess Aurora's can be defensive if you try to make it so. But yeah, I mean, there's quite a few defensive and offensive options that can work together pretty well. But I wish this team had a fire type. I don't know why it doesn't, especially given that there's quite a few fire neutral hits or weaknesses on this team.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I don't have too much to comment. I mean, hazard wise, you have Auroras and Corsola, but I think that's about it. And in terms of hazard control, I think you have Defog Weezing, Defog Scissor, but hazard game kind of weak. Type synergy wise, fairly okay. I agree with Noah that there's not a lot of special bulk in this team, and it might force things like Scissor and Primarina to be more specially defensive.
Yeah, exactly. And also his only fire resist is a Primarina, which it's not a bad fire resist, but it's his only one. So I'd say this is a solid 3 out of 5, right?
3 out of 5.
Yeah, because he does definitely have some really strong Pokemon here, like Kyurem, Primarina, Rillaboom, Scissor. Then he has some good Tier 4 picks. So. And last we got Brooklyn Bonnets. Let's see what you got, Kevin. What is this?
Alrighty, so we got Toxapex, Terrakion, Latias, Crocodile, Talonflame, Miltank, Pinkerchin, Cryogonal, Mega Mawile, and Gourgeist. So this team actually went through quite a few phases through drafting, but the general idea was that Terrakion, Latias, and Toxapex form a pretty decent core. I mean, they cover each other's weaknesses fairly well. And I also wanted, Gourgeist as my bulky grass. And I think that the rest of my picks were on the more defensive and support side. Like you have Talonflame for speed control, Miltank can Wish Pass, set Stealth Rocks, Pinkerchin can set Spikes, Cryogonal is good hazard control. Overall, I'm actually not sure what's going on with this team, even though I drafted it. Noah, do you have more to say?
Yeah, it's a bit all over the place. I feel like we see a lot of Pokemon here that just aren't usually paired. Like, Terrakion and Crocodile, I mean, it's not like they're, one's a ground type and one's a rock type, but I just feel like you still don't see them paired too often. Talonflame's usually only seen in VGC, but I think it is a pretty interesting pick here. We have Latias. Latias plus Hook is something seen in UU. Latias plus Tarak is also seen in UU. Well, not this UU, a previous gen UU stuff. I don't know, this team is very interesting. I think, once again, it is kind of a very Kevin core impact style team, but it is I feel like where Core is kind of improved on his draft style. I like his draft a lot more. Impact, I don't feel like it's as strong. And then I don't even know what to think of your team because it's just really weird.
I think there's definitely a lot of synergies I tried to pair, but as the draft went on and I got sniped quite a few times. There's a lot of different things that I tried to do with this team that are all on it, but not really fitting together.
Right. I still feel like offensively, you got Mawile, you got Tarak, and you also maybe have set up Lottie. Defensively, you have Pex, Lottie, somewhat Crook, but and maybe Gorgeist, but none of those really want to take a powerful stab ghost attack besides maybe Crocodile. Nothing wants to take a powerful ground type attack besides Lottie. So I feel like this team has some synergy, but it's not 100%. Everything about this team is kind of it's almost there. It's like all these mons somehow cover for each other in good ways, but they don't. There's still some things that are missing. But overall, I do think it's a somewhat good team.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think there's definitely a few weaknesses here and there that can be exploited.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm actually down to give it a 3 out of 5 because I feel like my low tier picks weren't the greatest. But what do you think?
Well, Miltank I think is a good pick for tier 4. Talonflame should definitely be lowered. I really wish they gave Talonflame Gale Wings back, because with Psychic Terrain and all the power creep, it definitely wouldn't be overpowered, and in VGC, it wouldn't be overpowered. I think it'd be nice. Anyway, this team, it doesn't get a 5, and it doesn't get it below a 3, so it's either a 3 or a 4. I'd say it's just hard to judge. I'd say for now we could say it's a 3, but it could definitely go up to a 4 if you utilize it well. There's definitely going to be a lot of unexplored potential with this team, I think.
Sounds good.
All right. And lastly, we got our overall rankings. Let's do this. So there's 12 of us. Ash and Azos are going to get 12. Who did we give 3? So we gave you a 3. We gave
me a 3. I think we gave Eska a 3 or a 4, and then we gave Dimmy a 3.
What's Eska's team? Oh yeah, Eska's team is there, and then what's Gimmy's team? Where is it? Oh, here it is. Yeah, I think we can give... I don't know. What do you think? Eska or Gimme? Who's worse?
I think the top
or yours?
The bottom goes as last. I wasn't too big a fan of Gimmy's. I would give it second to last. I think Eska would probably be third to last.
Sure. So let's see. Gimme second to last. And then Eska's third to last. This one. 10th. And then what? So you're 9th, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, most of these teams are really, really good. So being in 9th and above or 8th and above is not that bad actually here. 9th. Okay. What else do we got? So we got Derp's team. We got Dugong's. Let's see. So Derp versus Dugong's. I'd say
I would put Derp lower.
Yeah.
Because I really like Dugong's rain core plus defensive core.
I want to put Dark ahead of him though, but you're gonna disagree with that, right?
I wasn't that big of a fan, but that's just because it was pretty plain.
And you're also a big fan of Camels. I say we go. Who do you think is better, Reddy or Camel? Because you like both of those teams.
Maybe Reddy more.
So I think we go Reddy, Dark, Camel, Derp.
Yeah, I'm done.
And then who else do we have? We have me, Core, Hoyden, Ujana. Okay, I think Hoyden's definitely the end of these, right?
I would also put Hoyden
Oh, actually no. Yeah. This is okay. This is actually pretty good. Where would you put him?
Towards the middle.
Towards the middle. Ujana's is pretty good too. I think we put it below Hoyden's just because Hoyden has a dual weather, maybe. But Ujana has walls.
I think Ujana's team was actually pretty nice. I mean, I liked it quite a bit, and it was also 5. I would say upper quartile.
Right. Okay.
At least.
Where do I go? I think I'm. Let's see. How do I compare to? I'm above dirt. I'm probably around dark. So wait, did you say camel or ready is better? Ready, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I liked ready better.
So I think ready, dark, me, camel.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's write this down. So ready, dark, me, camel, dirt. Is dirt going to be the last out of is he 8th, I guess, right?
Yeah, I would put him on like the lower end, just because the team like didn't work together the best.
Yeah. So ready, dark, me. So camel is no way. Camel 7th. That doesn't make sense.
No, I would 6 or higher for Camel. Come on.
I guess I'll put me at 7th. It's okay. Okay, where's Gimme at? Or not Gimme, where's, let's see. So where's Kor, Hoyden, and Ujana? So I think, I like Kor's team a lot. I think it's a solid 3rd place.
I actually would put it lower than 3rd.
Really?
I mean, I feel like it struggles a bit with dark types. I mean, I could be
True.
wrong, but
I'm down to put
something
it.
about it seems off to me.
Okay, I'm down to put it down more. Who gets number 1?
You know, I'm tempted to give it to Mr. Champion, but
Alright, I'm done. I love the slow bro pick with this. We can give it to him. So he'll get first. I guess we'll give. I think Hoyden deserves 3rd. We'll move. Who's in 5th? So I think we'll move. Who's 4th? We'll move Ready to 2nd. And then 4th, we'll go to Dragon Knights. I think 5th goes to Camel, and then we'll put Kor at 6th.
sounds good.
So it goes Ujana, Ready You, Hoyden, Dark, Camel, Kor, me, Dirt, Kevin, Eska, Kimmy, and Impact.
Yep, I agree with that.
And yeah, so we're at an hour right now, pretty much. I think we should probably do Meditite tomorrow then, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Or at least in a different video. So that's it for the Medicham Conference rankings. Is there anything else we missed? I don't think so, right? Have we gotten anything?
I don't think so. Best of luck to these players.
Yes. All right. Good luck in week 1, guys. I'll see you.